everyone. Welcome to a bumper episode of our Footy Fantasy podcast. And this episode, we'll be doing unpopular opinion slash butterfly effect, whatever you want to call it. We have a bumper episode here. We'll start with our visitor who walked into an ambush unknowingly, but also part of the Footy Fantasy team. Ola. Yeah, thanks for coming on again.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to the ambush. I know I walked through the valley of the shadow of death, but I came no problem.
An ambush of United.
I'm on 4 mics.
Okay, I'm on 4 mics. Buchi, usually my co-host. Buchi, part of the team also.
How you guys doing?
Good.
I'm always happy to be here.
Okay, good. Choko is coming back again, and from last week, one of the proponents of this topic. Choko, how's it going?
Good. Can't complain. Working from home is the best thing.
Paradise.
Is the only positive of this coronavirus. So yeah, can't complain.
I can see you're getting your Idris Alba look going. Okay.
This one is more Robinson Crusoe than Idris Alba.
Coming back again after a while. I think it was on our pod last year. Daniel Deaku, the troll king,
oh my
agenda master, whatever you want to call it.
Agenda master, Jen. That's the motto.
Yeah. How have you been?
I'm all right. It's one day at a time. Waiting for all this craziness to end.
Okay, so
that's good.
We'll just start with you, since we know agenda must agenda.
Oh yeah.
So that it doesn't dissipate.
I'm coming in your hot one today.
I know you're coming in a hot one, so let me know.
I told you about it. The guy I'm attacking this blessed Saturday afternoon is the one and only Pele.
Okay, go ahead.
Pele told the world he scored almost 1,300 goals, and we all just sat down and said, "Okay, yeah, sure." I agreed. No problem. He scored goals against, you play against under 15, under 16 teams, games he didn't need to play. Just to stack up these stats. You play New Yam Festival games. You play street games he will play in the streets with his boys, and then go and update his Wikipedia later that night. I do not know how he has 92 hat-tricks, or he claims to have 92 hat-tricks. The World Governing Body of Football said no problem.
It's okay, it's allowed. Yeah.
He said it's facts. No need to interrogate it.
They need to investigate. There needs to be an open investigation into that man's career. Undoubtedly, he's one of the greatest. He is, the greatest of all time. But these numbers are. I'm very skeptical about them. I was not around. I was not alive during that time, so I can't say. It would only take for someone who watched him his whole career to actually maybe convince me that these numbers are true, and the teams he faced were legit teams. But that's all I have to say for now.
That's all I have to say. Okay, you came in real hot. Attack probably the best, one of the greatest players of all time. Oh my goodness!
I gotta piggyback on what he said. I just say quickly. Look, man. Pele is not the greatest footballer of all time. Let me correct what you said. That's the only correction.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually agree. I like, come on, man. Like this guy was so eager to play football. He came and played for a team that doesn't exist.
Yes.
He signed for New York Cosmos, and they didn't have a league. And they counted some of the goals he scored there or whatever. Like, dude, this guy just wanted to play. Like, he was, I think he was the typical football salesman before sales started. But honestly, I'm gonna say this. It's not my popular opinion. I think it's very popular. Pele is not the greatest footballer of all time. He wasn't even the greatest footballer in his time.
In his team, exactly.
He wasn't as good as Eusebio. He wasn't as good as Garrincha. He wasn't as good as George Best. There are many people in that side that are so much better than Pele. And this idea that he's the greatest, I think, was part of the stats thing. I'm not saying that he wasn't good. He won 3 World Cups, but like
To
for
be
example,
fair, he was in a really good team as well.
1970 World Cup. Dude, with all due respect, he was one of the like if there was gonna be a passenger in the team, he would have been.
He was exactly. They carried him that year.
Jairzinho in 1970 was actually more influential than Pele.
Carlos Alberto.
Yeah,
that was Carlos Alberto's team as well. So you know.
Okay. You gave me hot. Let's go to the Scouser. Let's give him his some deals since been so he doesn't feel alone. He doesn't feel too alone. So Scouser.
Oh, thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you, Mancunians. You're far too kind. Well, my own unpopular opinion is the Spanish team that won the 2010 World Cup are probably the worst international side to have won any competition since I started watching football. That team they were boring as hell. They scored 8 goals in 7 games. They basically scored like 1 goal a game. And their matches were so boring. Like they'll keep the ball, they just pass. You could just fall asleep. And I was just like, come on. This team, that time I know tiki-taka was reigning. Everyone was like, taka tiki-taka. Come on, Spain, they are fantastic football. Man, they were not fantastic in that World Cup. I've watched many international, even Greece in 2004 when they won the Euros. Greece were a defensive side, but at least you could see a bit of excitement when they do their counter-attack, when they come out and they won the Champions League. But Spain, oh God, they were boring, man. Come on.
I'm going to come in hot here with my defense. No. I'm coming in hot.
I don't respect that. 2008 Spain was much better. The Euros, when they won the Euros, they played.
I'll probably say 1994 and 1998 were better.
Yeah, they played much better football. 2010 Spain.
I agree.
But they disgust me.
They won the World Cup and the Euros. But
I'm going to come in hot, man. I'm going to come in hot with that one. I disagree because I feel like a lot of Premiership fans, are very, very have this bias with their eyes based on tempo, right? The tempo of the football in the Premiership, everything has to be fast, everything has to be the speed. But these guys were keeping the ball. Nobody could take the ball off them. They were playing off the park.
Sterile domination. Have you heard of something called sterile domination?
That's what sterile. They won the game.
They won the ball. They didn't create chances. You were keeping ball. You're not creating chances.
Exactly.
You scored only 8 goals in 7 games. 8 goals in 7 games.
But hold on, though. This is my opinion. Teams could not get the ball off them. The teams what did was they sat back. That's what they did. They limited the amount of chances. But they won the cup. That's
when they met a proper side.
I'm not denying they won the cup.
I remember that World Cup. I remember the final.
Yeah.
They met a really good side in the World Cup in that final. What did Spain do in that final? They didn't play. They basically went defensive and started passing the ball. They didn't attack. They finally came out towards the end of the game. If not that Holland missed clean chances, they would have never won that World Cup. Chances. And Holland was a more exciting team than them. I'm just being honest.
I will always defend my possession football because when I have the ball, you cannot hurt me. So I will always defend that absolutely over counter-attacking football because more teams have won tournaments, league titles. Keeping the ball than people that are just purely counter-attacking.
Keeping the ball and making chances is different from keeping the ball and not making chances.
Yeah, Spain, they
were keeping the ball.
What's the stats? Ola, where's the stats that they created less chances? Tell me the stats now.
They didn't create many chances. But you watch all the matches now. Should we watch that World Cup?
I did.
So you want to say that Spain that won that World Cup were exciting as the Spain that won the 2008?
Let me tell you the difference. I think what people always fail to realize that most times the World Cup has a lot of low quality games in comparison to Euros. Because in Euros, all the European teams the difference between them, the gap is not that far. It's high quality games. In the World Cup, there are a lot of games where up until you get to semi-final, there are a lot of games that are lower quality.
After Spain won the World Cup 2014, who won it? Germany. Germany played great football.
The other point about
2018, France won it. They played great football. They played fantastic
if the World Cup has lower class teams, you should score more goals.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you, Buchi.
Not necessarily.
1-0.
Not necessarily, though.
I remember that. I'm not saying they were not a good team. They're not the worst team that have won. I disagree with that. Greece in 2004 were the worst champions I ever saw. That was terrible. That was really like, I remember that, and then Mourinho
I
fought,
enjoyed
and
that one,
everybody was
Chap.
like, this is the death of football. But Spain were not excited. No.
Let's Choko talk. Choko, you had to end up.
Yeah. So my point on Spain winning is the whole people criticize possession football and then praise defensive football. As far as I'm concerned, possession football.
Sorry. I didn't criticize possession football. I criticized Spain's type of possession football.
Chance creation.
Okay, you're criticizing tiki-taka, right?
So
that form of tiki-taka.
So here's the thing. What we're all forgetting is that Spain had not won it till that point. Correct. And for teams that are about to on the cusp of winning new trophies like that, there's usually a bit of nervousness, and in my opinion, and there is that temptation to play it safe. No. And there's that temptation to play it safe. And in my opinion, I think they knew that they could keep the ball more than any other team. And they decided, you know what? Keep the ball, score that solitary goal, win this, get this, how do they say it now? Get the
monkey off your back.
Get the monkey off our backs. And let's know we've done it. And I think you would see that. I think if you see Spain going forward, you would see a more attacking side, in my opinion. I think they were more adventurous even in the World Cup that they crashed out than in that World Cup.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
that's right.
They were more adventurous in the games that they crashed in the subsequent two World Cups that they crashed out.
The funny thing about that World Cup,
because they had gotten the monkey off their back. So
the funny thing about that World Cup, David Villa, just quickly, David Villa was in the form of his life too. That period, 2010, 2011.
Yes.
That's when he was really so good. That
remember the crazy goal he scored against Honduras.
They should have gone all out with him. But continue.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think the psychology part as well.
Correct. I remember that Spanish team was, that was the peak Barcelona mostly, and slight some of Real Madrid. That was their peak. That 08 to 12. So I think they were like extremely confident. They had the ball. Like Choko brings up a very good point that I didn't even think of. To be fair, it's like they're nervous. If we score that one goal, you know what? We're not taking too much risk. If you want to come and attack us, then we can hit you then when the space is open. No, you come and attack us. So they kept the ball mostly, in my opinion.
That's what I think happened. Yeah.
Not only that, but if you remember, 2010 was actually one of the lowest scoring World Cups.
That's true.
Also, in general, yeah.
That's true.
That's right.
Okay, stay with Choko. Let's not
right. Okay. So mine is it? Yes. So I don't know. I don't even know if mine is really unpopular because I think it's more debatable than it is unpopular. And I think I already put it out there. I'm still going with the fact that I think that Johan Cruyff was a better coach all round than as a United fan than Sir Alex Ferguson.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that Johan Cruyff was a better coach because for me there are two criteria that you use to measure greatness, in my opinion. One is, was there succession? Were you able to get people to, after you finished, were you able to create succession? And then the second is, what was your philosophy? And on those two counts, I think that when you compare Johan Cruyff and Fergie, I think Johan Cruyff's philosophy is there for all to see. So Fergie's philosophy was win.
Correct. At all costs.
Play with. I mean, who plays with 6 defenders?
Bombs. Win with bombs.
Win. Who wins tournaments with like bang average players? Fergie. So his own was win, just win. He was a winner, and he used like all sorts of tactics to win. Whereas Johan Cruyff was more of, what is the philosophy? It's not okay to just win.
Yeah, he's a purist. He was a purist.
Yeah, he was a purist. He actually was almost scientific about it. Like, correct. How we win spaces. Yeah, he was. Like how we win is almost more important than just winning. So in that sense, they were diametrically opposite. And the effects are all there to see. I mean, the number of coaches that have been influenced by Johan Cruyff are way more than the ones that have been influenced by Fergie. You know, from the Peps, you know, to even I was reading stuff about it today, and I saw names like Ancelotti there, you know, so these are great coaches in their own right, and have gone on to win loads of trophies. So I think in terms of their contribution to the game, to the beautiful game that we enjoy today, I think that Johan Cruyff, although won less trophies as a manager, far less than Fergie, and although Fergie is a force of nature, he's a force of nature. I think that Johan Cruyff picks him to he's greater than Fergie. That's my unpopular.
Okay.
Popular opinion.
Yeah,
as a Scouser, sorry, let me just jump in. As a Scouser, I fully endorse the fight that's about to happen. So I'm going to get some popcorn while you Manx destroy yourself. So Manx, go ahead and destroy yourself. I'm not going to jump into this one.
Okay, this is where I have to say that there's this thing about life where you go commit the hour, commit the man. That's how Jesus said it in the Bible. In life, we'll say, stop talking, do.
Yeah.
You know, and this is the thing about life is that more people know Alexander the Great than his teacher, than Aristotle. Aristotle is probably one of the smartest men that ever lived.
True.
But his student, Alexander the Great, outdid the master. He conquered the world. He conquered the living world. Now, what I'm trying to say that is philosophers are philosophers for a reason. They're never great leaders. They inspire people for generations and generations and generations. But when you're going to judge the greatest coach ever, you're not going to judge the greatest coach on who he inspired. I'm sorry, it's about what he did. It's the same thing about his football, his career as a player. When you look at Johan Cruyff, you go, we were talking about Pele, and you go, okay, yeah, he wasn't even as good as Cruyff. Cruyff was probably the best footballer in his time, but he won not, really. He didn't win, apart from the Euros. What he won was not up to what, because people that wanted to win, for whom winning was more important, won. For Cruyff, it was all about entertaining, having fun. No, football was a business. Now, why I say this is, we talk about inspiring.
But sorry to cut you short there. You say football is a business. I want to pick up on that point.
Yeah.
If football is a business, and the way, if it's played in a certain way that is entertaining, you would agree with me that that's also part of the business, isn't it? After all, at the time, at the time he moved to Barcelona, he was one of the most expensive players in the world. That was one of the most expensive transfers.
That's right.
So that's what. Just carry on. I'm just saying that.
No, we're talking about him as a coach, though.
No, I'm talking about.
I'm talking about his life. His philosophy started
from his playing style.
From his playing
career. He became a player coach.
That's why I mentioned that.
He was a player coach, actually.
Yeah.
He became a player coach. He was that kind of guy. Everybody knew. But why I mentioned that is, see, the thing with succession is Alex Ferguson cannot be succeeded. There's no succession plan with Alex Ferguson. He's a one-off. There is no replicating what he did. Because the simple thing was that this man just found what I'd call a lazy man's formula to winning. But it's easy to call it a lazy man's formula because it looks easy. But nobody can do it because he kept winning for 26 years. If it was that easy, it would have beaten him. But he would go, okay, I'll get this, I'll get this. Look, everybody's building all this. Like, he was, like, he said something. That's why I said, like, the philosophy of Alex Ferguson is actually the same kind of philosophy that actually does exist because they come from great Scottish, this thing. And one of the reasons, one reason why they're like that is they go, where we come from, football is all about, life is hard. We don't need to speak all this great grammar. Like he said once about Arsene Wenger, they say he can speak 5 languages, so I got a kid that can speak 5 languages. What can you do on the pitch? That's the kind of philosophy they were about, and that's why he is a one-off. It's not easy to replicate that.
Yeah, okay. All good. This is a good one. Now I just have to jump in because it's Alex. I think I agree with Chucky, but I'm just going to use my own words in this. Sorry, I said Choco. My own words is I think coach. I think he was a greater coach.
Yeah.
That's Alex Ferguson. The word coach, I'm being specific. Manager, I think Alex was a greater manager because and that era of the 80s, the 90s, the era of Sir Alex Ferguson, it was mostly about management, in my opinion. Now, this our current era now is actually a combination of both. You have to be elite in both places, So that's why I kind of agree with Choco, but just referenced in a different way. So stay with you, Buchi.
Mm-hmm.
So who is your unpopular opinion?
Weirdly, my unpopular opinion was going to be something about Alex, and I find it hard now to even bring it up.
Yeah, bring it up.
Bring it up, yeah.
Okay.
This guy is one from his
See, the unpopular opinion is about. There's this thing about.
It's all about Sir Alex. Mine too is actually. Well, it's going to be a different angle. But go ahead.
There's this thing about what Sir Alex Ferguson built, but sometimes what happens is sometimes people transcend more than life and become so big that myths follow them. And one of the myths that followed Alex Ferguson is that Alex Ferguson built Manchester United as a team of youths. It's hard to agree. When I was younger, I kind of bought into that. But the more I read about the club, the more I know, the more I take interest. I'll say this: like the whole idea that Barcelona is a club of youth, of academy. Also, it's funny when there's a club called Manchester United. There's a guy from Manchester. No, well, he's not from Manchester, from Liverpool, but who is the king in Manchester? Who is called Samad Bosby, who said, as long as you're good, you're old enough in the 50s. That's why I go back to that, because when I was supposed to give to Manchester United, who did he meet? He met Samad Bosby. Samad Bosby built Manchester United. He built that club. I'm not trying to take away what Sir Alex Ferguson did. No, that's not what. Sir Alex Ferguson is the greatest manager of all time. But Sir Alex Ferguson continued the work that Samad Bosby built. That's why sometimes, like when we talk, you guys hear me call Samad Bosby the Godfather. He is the Godfather of Manchester United. He built Manchester United. So Alex Ferguson completed what he didn't finish. That's just it. That's my own unpopular opinion.
Okay. Yours is. I don't think I can really debate that.
I'm not. Yeah, I agree. Bosby babes, they were not particularly old. They were not middle-aged men. Were they?
They were all young.
They were young. So that's all. That's all you need to know.
Ola and Buchi, are you just there?
No, man, I'm enjoying all this dissing on Sir Alex Ferguson.
No one is dissing Sir Alex, my friend. Don't start your agenda. Agenda was agenda. Okay. I'll say mine.
I have another quick one that's more controversial though.
Okay.
Okay. The real controversial one I thought about was FFP.
You have to be quick though.
Yeah, it's gonna be quick. FFP is useless. 3 reasons. Useless is negative, is bad for football. 3 reasons. 1. FFP will make the big stay big.
Yeah.
Manchester United will, for example, Manchester United is not affected by all of this. I'm a Manchester United fan, so I like it, but it's also not fair that people running out of business and then their clubs are going, whatever. 2, it will not help. I feel it's wrong for you to tell me that I cannot spend money on my business. I can't invest in my business. Somebody buys a club, like, for example, it's about to happen now with Newcastle, and just what happened to Man City. They were punished for trying to invest in their own business. The reason why they did that was people were trying to stop them from doing it. I think that's wrong. In any other business, nobody will stop somebody from buying Walmart and putting 500 billion if he has it. That's true. Then the third one, why I believe FFP is not good, is FFP takes away from the real people that make football, the players. At the end of the day, I think it's because of FFP that a lot of money keeps running towards transfer and all of that. If players can keep getting more wages, across the board, it will balance out. the reason why things like FFP encourage this thing is because it makes players want to move to the bigger clubs. It makes players keep moving to the bigger clubs, which, so I believe that if there's no FFP and, my man Choko decides to go and buy, one club somewhere, it makes things better for everyone. That's my own opinion.
Yeah, I don't agree with the third point, but I agree with the first 2 points. The third point, I don't think FFP has anything to do with players always trying to move to the top. It's always been like that. Players have always wanted to move to the top sides for obvious reasons. They win more trophies, they can afford them. It's like what's they call it the Matthew effect. The more you have, the more those that have more, they get more.
They get more.
Yeah, no, they actually get more.
Mm-hmm.
I say, they call the Matthew effect. People that have more already get more. So the rich clubs get more players and they get better because they have money, and because they have better players, they get more money because they attract more viewership. It's just the fact of life. Yeah.
Well, what I'm just quickly going to, I know Buchi is making some great points, but and in the previous podcast, we talked about all this business and how clubs are overspending and everything. Now, I understand the principle of FFP. Maybe it's not being implemented properly, but the principle is, look at the transfer for Neymar, how that transfer skewed the transfer market. Before, you could buy a player, maybe 30 million, 35. You say, that guy is expensive, but you pay 35 million. Then next thing, PSG bought Neymar for 220 million. Next thing, Coutinho is going for 140 million based on that. Because normally Coutinho wouldn't have gone for 140 million. But because of that period where Neymar went for 220 million, and then Liverpool could actually ask for 140 million. So FFP is supposed to maybe help. That's why football clubs are in trouble now. I know we're still going to come to this. Football clubs, they make money, but that money is going out as soon as it's coming in because they are paying a lot of wages.
Yeah, it's just going quickly,
Their wages are just taking so much money from them. So my quick point to that is, I understand what Buchi is saying, but FFP, the principle is correct. Maybe the implementation is not right because if there's no FFP, let's say Newcastle now, they're bought by these Saudi guys. And then these Saudi guys just say, okay, we want to buy Messi for 500 million. And you say, don't stop them. There's no FFP. Don't stop them. It's going to inflate the market again. Because when there's a lot of money in the market like that, all the other clubs will start charging high amounts. And then where does it stop? You just ruin football eventually because clubs will eventually still die out.
That domino effect, because Neymar went for 200 million. The other reason why Liverpool could ask for 140 million was not just because Neymar went for 200, but because they knew that Barcelona had 200 million sitting down there. So
but it affected other transfers. Other transfers became very expensive too.
If you get the money, you have, so people know you have it. So they're going to increase their prices for you. So I see what you're saying.
Okay, good one. It comes to me quickly. I'll say mine is interesting too. This is Alex's one. So I'm going to start like this to make mine easy.
Just call this podcast Sir Alex.
No, it's not dissing actually. It's not dissing. It's just it's my own thoughts, and I probably shared it with somebody before me, Buchi. So Buchi, if you're asked today, what was Sir Alex's greatest mistake? What would you say?
His greatest mistake?
Yeah.
Well, I haven't thought about it.
Ronaldo for 80 million.
Choko.
Yeah.
What's Sir Alex's greatest mistake?
Moyes.
Okay. That's Daniel.
And that's the point.
That's it. That's it.
Daniel.
Nothing bigger than that.
I'd say Ronaldo for 80 million.
Okay, cool. Okay. So most people
between that and Beckham.
The general opinion in Manchester United ranks, at least for what I've seen, in my own limited view of Manchester fans I've surveyed and just reading stuff, is Moyes, succession plan, and Ronaldo, like that whole. These have been the most things I've seen everywhere. In my opinion, actually, and I talked to Buchi about this, I don't think Moyes was his greatest mistake, actually. Yes, I think it's a succession plan. I think the greatest mistake, in my opinion, in hindsight, it's in hindsight now, I'm going to say, in 2012, Suarez was supposed to retire. He did not retire then.
Oh, yeah.
Because he didn't want to retire. He didn't wanted to retire on the high because we lost the league on the last day. And I say this because Pep was interested in coming to Manchester United. Sir Alex wanted to retire on the high. With 2013, Pep was snapped up. I believe in coaches and time and history. It's all about time and chance.
Yep.
When that time left us and we went to the option and went to Moyes, is that decision. And to be fair to him, I give him all he deserves to make that decision. This is no criticism. Everybody knows how he deserves because he wants to win. He gave up 27 years of his life for the club, so he deserves to go on a high. What I'm saying is, in hindsight, when I look at it, if we had gone to a better manager, we would have attracted better players. We would not be in the position we're in right now, in my opinion. And that's what I think is an unpopular opinion, because when you think about it, people say, we won in 2013. He gave us left on a high.
That's not.
But long term, you said what?
In hindsight, that's not one someone can argue because of the choices between
long term. I think that hurt Manchester United way
because
more.
Number one, if Pep had come to us, he wouldn't have gone to
City. Absolutely.
I can't say their real name, so you can call them City, but we know their real name.
So because I feel like, and this is the reason why I say this, that's like at the beginning of the pod, I said butterfly effect, because if Pep had come, would have attracted more players, would have probably kept some of those guys that are retiring just for institutional knowledge that they would have provided. The Scozy, the Giggs, would have kept some of them as assistant coaches just to pass on that institutional knowledge. Would have definitely attracted way better players. All those ones that they said we missed out on Cruz, missed out on Thiago, all those guys that got linked to everybody on the earth. All the good players, we got linked, and somehow we just kept missing out on all these guys due to different reasons. And we would have got into this.
It's crazy. Ozil was supposed to go for
the thing about me as a football fan, first, I'm a Nigerian. We're all Nigerians here, but I'm not sure if we're all Nigerian football fans, but I'm a Nigerian football fan. And why I'm saying this is that the first thing I remember, one of my earliest memories in football was the Dama Miracle. As a Manchester United fan, I'm the fan of a club steeped in faith. You're a Liverpool fan, Ola. You're also the fan of a club steeped in faith, destiny, luck. There's so many things that you can go back and look at and say butterfly effect. Like if what happened in the 80s never happened, English football would have dominated Europe and all of that and that and that and that. But now what I'm saying that is, I'm actually loving what we're going through now. There's something special about this.
I'm not though.
No. I'm going to say it because
I'm definitely not. I can tell you that.
It's very avoidable.
Let me lie.
Avoidable. I'm doubling down, so I'm not.
No, I'm not. Listen, what I'm saying is that when I go back and actually say the biggest mistake Alessandro made was in 2002, 2001, 2002, when he decided to fight Magnus and whatever over a horse. That led to the Glazers. That led to where we are today.
Yeah.
So when you think about it, that's actually where it started.
Yeah. Now that you say that.
Now, so why I'm actually saying I'm enjoying this is fans now are taking a different approach to looking at things. Now the Glazers themselves now are learning. It's no longer about there's a manager just saving them and they're just using our club as a cash cow. Now they have to. So things have to have because if Pep would have come in, these guys would have just continued taking out. Maybe now they'll be taking out 30, 40 million a year doing nothing.
But this is what I think would have happened, though. Yeah. This is why I say I think that one is the worst thing. Now the Glazers, yes, that's true. When they came in, they were spending. Ferguson was, but post Ferguson, they spent money. I feel like if you had gotten someone like Pep, who had been in a structure, he would have just that respect he commands. He would have advised them. Let's get the structure in place. By now, we would have had a better structure. Director of football, whatever you want to call it, head of recruitment, whatever I like to call it. There would have been a better structure in place because he has seen it before and would have respected his opinion. And the structure would have come with, Pep would have understood that, hey, institutional knowledge is important. Let these guys be here. Let's transfer. Like, would have had a better structure, in my opinion. And that better structure, Glazers are not the worst owners. They're not, in my opinion, they're not more terrible than
Ashley. Mike Ashley.
All these guys in Arsenal. What's his name? Kroenke. Yes, they're not terrible. There would have been a structure in place. And despite Glazers' less spending, the 970 million we spent, Nigeria would have spent better. And we would do. I'm not saying we would have been dominated like we were at Ferguson, but at least since there's more money, we would have always been competing. We've not competed now, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to make that guy there. That guy that's in his house.
No,
happy.
wait, come on, man. Is it because of the past 2 years? Now
I'm enjoying this group therapy.
because
Group
of the
therapy
last
for Manchester United fans.
No, come on.
My guy,
We have not competed.
You're the one suffering most among us because you're basically the guy that's seen a mirage. You see mirage, you get mirage, it's not water. You see mirage. Finally, you see the well. And then you're about to drink that water, and then there's
whatever happens.
All you fans,
all you fans that are celebrating, whatever happens, if the season does not get finished, Liverpool are champions. If the season gets finished, Liverpool are champions. So me, I'm not suffering anything.
I'm not a masochist. I can't.
There's still going to be an asterisk next to that champions.
I'm not a masochist.
Dude, bring the asterisk. I'm happy. Bring the asterisk. I'm happy. I'll wear it with pride.
I would just say that there was no football season in 2020.
2020. Yeah.
Ended in March. That's all we know. Alternate
We'll be like, we don't acknowledge this season.
Daniel, what did you say? Daniel, like Pele.
Remove it from Wikipedia. Remove it from Google.
Okay. Let's enter the second conversation now. Let's go to second conversation. Let's start with Ola, man like Ola, since we put him on the stage. So, what are your thoughts about the Bundesliga weekend? Around one, did you enjoy the game quickly? Then also. What do you enjoy the game and what can the EPL learn from this? So go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to come up front. I've not watched full games since they came back. I've watched extended highlights of all the games. So like today, I've not watched any full game from Bundesliga, but I've seen a lot of reactions. So social distancing celebration. People are not happy with that. Why are they not celebrating together? But I remember it was even Dada that said it in a group that, look, all that is for optics. All those don't celebrate together. It's for optics because these players, they are going to touch each other. I'm sure they touch each other in training, contact training. But it's just for optics. If the subs are wearing masks, it's all optics. It's just, okay, look, let's just pretend. It's not like, not pretend, but let's just give the impression that we're doing things right. Okay? So if people are complaining about that, let them celebrate together. I don't have an issue with that. The bigger issue is where they say, okay, the stadium is empty and the noise level is very low. And, it feels like a training session. Yeah. Yes, I agree with that. And I've always felt, even you two were saying this, Ayo, I think we're chatting about it. And I've always felt that if football is going to come back and you want it to go perfectly, number one, quarantine all the players for that 5 or 6 weeks. Put them in hotel. Don't let them go back to their families. Or else you keep seeing all this stuff that happened, like with Watford yesterday. They said family members got infected. So you do that first. Then, so all those players, they usually do it for World Cup training camps that they'll just go for 4 weeks. Sometimes they don't see their families. Put them all there, yeah? So Bundesliga, I don't think they're doing that in Bundesliga, but so far, so good. They've had 2 rounds of fixtures, yeah? Now, regarding the crowd noise, I've always thought that, okay, if football comes back at all, they should have, like, on their PA system, they'll be playing crowd noise. And already I've read articles that they're going to do that in Premier League. If Premier League comes back, they'll be filtering in crowd noise that's been recorded from previous matches, so that at least it generates some kind of atmosphere. Because the TV companies are looking at the product of people watching at home and not enjoying the atmosphere from watching at home. So they're saying they're going to start filtering in the crowd noise, and they have a company that's already trying to sell that kind of product. So, but the thing is showing us that, okay, we can come back to football. But it's not perfect yet, because I think Daniel was also saying it today in the group chat. Yeah, it feels like a training session. So sometimes maybe that's one of the reasons why I've not watched any full match.
I haven't been able to complete it.
I've not, because I don't feel it's not like a real match, Yeah, so I prefer to watch the highlights. I prefer to watch the highlights after. So Bundesliga is showing us the way, but Premier League can learn from that. But okay, and they are learning from it, because already Sky and BT Sport are really looking for a company that can maybe filter in crowd noise during the match, so that at least there's still a bit of atmosphere when you're watching the match. And then the third point is the testing, this regular testing of players to see who has coronavirus or not. Now, this testing is going to keep going on, but as long as you are letting these players go back up to their families, they're still going to keep picking it. They might not go out themselves, but what about maybe their wife or their children, their girlfriend picks it and gives it to them? So then what happens? That's why I say football might come back to the Premier League, but I see it being cancelled again, because when the second spike of infections come, more players will get infected again, and then the league might just get cancelled again. So they should just scrap it and just say, okay, let's call the end of this season and let's wait till there's a vaccine. Finish. That's it. But regarding the quality of the football, the football looks good. I've seen the highlights. The intensity looks good. The goals have been good. Style of play has been good. The players themselves want to play. Most players want to play. I know there are news articles focusing on players who are saying, oh, I don't want to play, or I have this, I have that. Those ones are very few. The percentage of players that don't want to play is maybe 4 or 5% compared to 95% of players that want to play. So I'm sure most of the players want to play. Some of the clubs might have agendas and prefer the league to end so they can escape relegation or things like that. But I know footballers, generally, most of them want to play. But at the moment, Bundesliga is leading the way, but there are still teething problems, in my opinion.
Okay. This is very, very good points. Daniel, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, similar to Ola. I was watching, I think it was last week. I was watching the Bayern game, and the goal went in, and I didn't even realize that. Because I was like, wait, what's going on? What did they just score? Like, was it offside? Because that crowd element is like, I miss the oohs and the ahs of the fans. Like, to be fair, like, it helps the sort of like neutral feel, helps referees psychologically, because there's no constant bullying from the home fans. That kind of, like, imagine going to Anfield now to play. Like, it won't be as intense, without the fans. Places that are very, very hard to play.
Boca Juniors, River Plate.
Yeah, those kind of games.
Yeah.
I mean, going to Man City will make a difference anyway, if you know what I'm saying.
they can tell us, they can train us. They're the experts in this. They're the experts in this, fanless football. They're the experts.
But yeah, you were saying something about how you can notice the systems, and yeah, that's good. But at the same time, I still personally feel that if that away element is not there, I mean, it's kind of like a neutral ground. So like the better teams are going to find it much easier because they don't have the constant intimidation. Because there are these smaller grounds that even when you go there, it's so intimidating. Think of Jose Mourinho going to St. James's Park. Right. Like, he can never win there. So on that kind of situation, like the bigger teams always have the upper hand. So yeah, it's hard. I mean, I want to see football back, but there's got to be some way to bring in. Maybe it's the sound effects thing, but man, we need that atmosphere. We really do.
Yeah. I mean, that is true. I think it's kind of very towards the new normal in a way. Choko, what are your thoughts?
It's kind of like, to be honest, like basically the same thing. I think, I don't know, I'm not sure though about the whole artificial sound thing, because the thing is that you still have to make a connection with the fact that there are people, so if you're hearing noise and the stadium is still empty, I don't know how that is going to play in terms of the entertainment value, except if cameras now, if cameramen now only pan the pitch and make it look as though they're only focusing on the football that has been played, and that there's the crowd that they're not panning. Does that make sense? Then I think that the whole artificial sound thing would work, because it will now be like, okay, that's the way I see it. That's, maybe I'm overthinking it, but
sorry, Choko. Just a quick anecdote. I don't know if any of you guys saw the story last week about the Korean League, what they did in their own stadium.
All right.
Just to try to make the stadium look lively. Do you know what they did in Korea?
Robots, right?
It's not robots, sex dolls. They put in. They got fined for it. The club got fined for it because they went to put dolls. They put dolls all over, like not all over the stadium, but they put many dolls in the stands to try to create like an atmosphere. And then these dolls are not normal dolls now, so they had to find them, because they were trying to improve the atmosphere. Continue your point, Joke. I just wanted to jump in there to remind you of this kind of atmosphere.
I know, right? And for me, it's it's just one of those things where like it's like being between the devil and deep blue sea, as they say. Because on one side, you want football to come back and everything, but there's so many nuances around it as well. So, for example, the more games start, the more people want to start to gather to watch games. Nobody wants to watch a game on their own all the time. Before temptation start coming up for people to want to go to their mate's house, they're also, social issues that can come up with football coming back. And then that's on one side. On the other side, their livelihoods tied to these football clubs. So to just say, let's cancel the season, TV and media houses are going to say, well, I'm not going to pay you for what?
Yeah.
You haven't
700 million. 700
exactly.
Million. They have to return 700 million.
Exactly. Now, let's also, and this is on the back of the fact that we've been talking about spending, Buchi talked about spending. So a lot of clubs are in the red. So imagine them not getting that tranche of money or having to return it back. A lot of people will be in trouble. Livelihoods, as I said,
a lot of clubs they don't have the money to return.
Exactly.
They spent it already.
Yeah, they spent it already. You just want to talk return what?
And the footballers will be fine. But you see, when you go, there's more to the football club.
Fine. They're just like the clubs. They also spend their money.
No. But what I'm saying there, Buchi, is that in terms of economic, in terms of like levels, the footballers are better off.
They will survive there.
Of course, they will survive. I'm talking about the store, the person that when you walk into the store, the club store to buy stuff, that person is probably on minimum wage. How are they going to? Yeah, how are they going to keep up if all of that? So it's just one of those things where, we're sitting ducks really. I don't know. Like someone said, I think the best way out will be if there's a vaccine really. That's the only, and that's out of our hands. And according to epidemiologists, we're looking at 2 years at least, or at best 1 year to get it. And we've only just been in like 3 months. So I don't. That's why I said I don't know if a few weeks ago I put a comment on the Facebook group, where I said I don't see football coming back until late next year. I think that's the way we know it.
Correct.
I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we tomorrow wake up and we find a cure and then we're on it. But I don't see us getting back to that, enjoying the games as it was, until at least a year from now.
Let me jump in real quick. Sorry, I know. Hold your thoughts. I didn't do this beginning. I should have done this. We're going to take a break for a quick admin. If you're watching this and you're liking our content, please, the full video will be on YouTube at Footy Fantasy, FOOTIE Fantasy. If you like audio podcasts, you can find us anywhere you get your podcast, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. It's called the Footy Fantasy. Footy Fantasy is one word, FOOTIE Fantasy Podcast. And you can also find us on Facebook, Extraordinary Footy Fans. You can find us on Twitter, Footy80 Fantasy. All will be at the end of the video, and we'll try to pin it at the beginning of the video also. So I think I cut somebody off. Was it Daniel? Somebody was about to talk.
No, I was gonna say that because Choko said we've been here for 3 months, and I was like, damn. It feels so much longer.
It does. It feels like a lifetime, doesn't it?
It does.
So much longer.
It feels like a lifetime.
But let's say your thoughts.
I saw the games last week. It was fun. It was really good. Something new. I wasn't bothered about quality,
Just grateful to see
I just
ball.
wanted to see football, man. And the things you're talking about, that was what I started noticing by Sunday. On Saturday, when I watched Dortmund game, it was sweet. The goals, everything.
Yeah, because it's a high-scoring game.
Yeah, it was just nice. And then on Sunday, first of all, by the time I got to Sunday, I was like, rinse, repeat. German league is about to resume as usual. because there were no upsets, whatever. And yeah, of course, it was Bayern. Like, okay. So, yeah, Bayern played the good football, the normal football. I must say it was really exciting. At that point, that's when I started noticing what you guys were saying. And then, of course, there was something that were happening that were funny. Like, yeah, these guys train together. They stand next to each other in corners, but they can't. Okay, whatever. But this morning, last night, some guys I play soccer with, they were sending messages like, they're going to play this morning. And it was 8:30 a.m., which is the time when the games are going on. Actually, the game start 8:30 a.m.
Yeah.
So first thing I did, I woke up, took a shower, got dressed, started heading to the park to play soccer. It was like I really wanted to watch the game. I was thinking about the game, but I miss getting out of my house. Like that's why when you guys say it feels like 3 months, like yeah, it feels like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
We went to the park at 8:30. Normally, when it gets a bit hotter, we want to get out of there. I'm telling you, we stopped playing, we were tired, and we were talking. I got home at 1.
Wow.
The only stop I made on my way back was I stopped at the grocery store. I got home at 1. We were just like, everybody was glad to be out. We were glad to be out. My team president has been stopping us from going back to training, and so that was really, really, people thought he wasn't there, so we were just talking, cussing him out because they felt like he should let us train. But that was the whole vibe. I think everybody has already said what there was to say. That's the only thing I noticed is I'm going to say regarding coming back, not coming back. There are no answers, man. There are no answers. We can. We this is something we're going to find out. Everybody was right and wrong in maybe a year, 2 years, 3 years, because we don't know. This whole idea of some people are opening up and some people don't want to go back to work and people are trying to call them cowards. And I'm going, no, nah, you don't have a right to even call somebody a coward for not going back out. And then you also don't have a right to tell somebody that they're being insensitive or saying, no, I'm tired of sitting down at home. I'm getting hungry. I need to get out and eat. Because these basic human needs. It's not a case of this guy, like the people that are protesting to go to the barber shop. The barbers are protesting. I understand why. They need to make a living. People protesting to go to the barber shop, that's a different case. But people protesting that they want to go back to work, people trying to be like, whatever. Because at a point, like I was thinking about it, some old folks now who you're sitting down telling them, oh, nobody can visit them, they're going to go, look, I would rather get COVID than die of loneliness because that's the whole thing. And it's getting to that. So I don't know how we're going to solve the economic issues. A lot of things are going to change. Some jobs are gone. 10%, yeah, 10% of, in America, it's more than 10%. But worldwide, at least 10% of the workforce works in hotels and restaurants. That's it. 1 in 10 people, they might not be able to get back. That industry might never. We were talking about, people need what do you call it? People need to play soccer because the industry has to keep moving. What? Okay, let me ask you guys a question. What happens to the stadiums? Good example. Spurs just built a stadium. There's an American football team, an NFL team here, Rams. They're just moving to Las Vegas. The reason why they're moving to Las Vegas is that they're launching one massive stadium.
Raiders, Oakland Raiders, not Rams. Raiders, the Raiders, Oakland Raiders, not the Rams.
The Raiders are moving. Then the other team too is moving. There's another team moving. Chargers, not Rams. Chargers and the Chargers also moving to Las Vegas. Golden State Warriors? They just built a new stadium. They just built a new stadium. Now, so what's the point? Because at the end of the day, we don't need fans. We might as well just put a flat track instead of spending 200, 300 million on pitches, because that's what it is. Like we spend 1 billion on stadiums that are empty. That's So I don't know. We'll find out in 5 years' time, because that's how I feel. That's how bad this thing is. That we're just talking about. We don't know if there's going to be a second wave. We don't know if there's going to be a third wave. We don't know if it'll keep coming back like the flu every year. We don't know what life is going to be. So we can keep praying and see, thank God we're alive. Let's enjoy what we have for now and hope for that.
Okay. I'll just piggyback on Buchi and say my own thoughts quickly so that we can wrap up. I think I'll use Draymond Green's term when he says everybody eats. That's the term I'm going to use. In the sense, everybody eats, meaning everybody scores, everybody should share the basketball, all of that. I agree in the sense I don't think there are any wrong or right answers. The economy has to open up. Football has to open up. Sticking with football, I don't think there are any right or wrong answers, in my opinion. I enjoyed it from the quality standpoint. I enjoy it. I see myself, as I grow older, I see myself, I'm a kind of a football nerd too. When I watch it, I'm enjoying it, especially Dortmund. Dortmund, most of you know, I'm a fan of Dortmund now. Their organization, how they are run, the fact that they are a real
Are you a
social
fan of
organization.
Dortmund or a fan of Sancho?
I'm a fan of Dortmund, actually.
If Sancho leaves, you won't leave.
No. I'm a fan of Dortmund.
Just making
no.
sure.
I'm a fan of Dortmund. Their organization, their history, and how they like to do things. So
why does everybody outside Germany, everybody who's not a Bayern fan outside Germany, why are you all Dortmund fans? Like everybody always wants Dortmund to win the league.
I think it's because everyone loves the underdog, isn't it?
Yeah, they come across as underdog, even though they are not really underdog. To be fair, they've won so many real league times. So, yeah, correct. So I enjoy watching them. I watched them today during their game. They look like I was talking to one of my friends who you all know, Yemi, and they look like a team full of just attackers. Like almost 7 attackers everywhere. The team is so creative, so expressive. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. I watched a little bit of Bayern. I watched highlights of Leipzig because some of you know I like the manager to Nagelsmann. So yeah, I'm enjoying it because for me, without the noise of fans, I'm able to watch. Unconsciously, I'm noticing that I'm paying more attention to like the patterns of play, all of that. Now, I think they are different from EPL in the sense that they did a lot of early testing, test trace.
That's right.
That helped them a lot. That helped them a whole lot compared to the EPL. You guys have brought up the points I'm going to say about like the crowd atmosphere that the EPL can learn from. I also think the England can also learn from trying what some of us have talked about is putting this separately, because I do not think the English footballers are going to apply the same level of discipline that the Germans are doing, that we've done. I think from the first round, just because of how England is as a society, from the first round, there'll be a lot more cases of infections, just because of the fact that that society is less disciplined like the German society. So I think they have to think of that and take them to account. I think they have to do that.
They're the fathers of American society.
Yeah, they have to. The English Premier League have to think of absolutely taking them to account, at least for the EPL, if they want this to succeed. If they do not do that, just like what Ola says, I think it's going to happen. There'll be a second wave, and to be so much, they will just have to truncate the league.
There are stubborn players in that EPL.
Yeah, a lot of stubborn players.
Stubborn people.
Serge Aurier has broken quarantine. 3 times.
Like Aurier.
Somebody caught coronavirus. Got the first person to catch the COVID-19 infection as a player.
Yeah.
And not only broke it, now got the police
himself in trouble.
Who's that? Who was that?
Hudson Odoi.
Hudson Odoi.
That was infected with COVID-19. These guys, no.
So that we're talking about Hudson Odoi. There's one unpopular agenda I want to end with, because it's an agenda / and I told Dana that it's an unpopular opinion. It's kind of, maybe it's debatable. I honestly think I like him so much as a player, but that man has been riding on his last good performances was from the World Cup, and that's N'Golo Kante. N'Golo Kante has done sod all for the last 2 years and riding on the PR. Even before injuries, the season after they won with Conte, that policy he did sort all in that season. But that guy has been riding on PR of the nice guy, which he is a nice guy, hardworking, quiet guy, and he gets no criticism, which I'm happy for as a black person. I like it. I feel like a lot of black players get criticism, but I just want to leave that out there. I think just because of the PR of the guy, he has been average since that World Cup, and everybody has been giving him a pass since then. I've been giving my man. But it's my man. I like him, but it's just very interesting. I've been thinking of it.
I don't think the average person thinks of him as what he really is. People think of him as a defensive midfielder. He's not a defensive midfielder. He's a
not.
box midfielder.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been praised for being what he's not. He's a guy that should be in the whole scheme of things. Basically, he's more of a Roy Keane than a Xabi Alonso. He's more of a Roy Keane than a Makalele. He's not a Makalele. People think he's a Makalele.
He definitely is a Makalele.
No, he's not.
Definitely is a Makalele.
He can destroy, but that guy, because when I've really seen him, the weird thing about it was Sarri. Sarri had great ideas for that guy. That's where, look, fans are dumb. Fans are dumb. They don't know anything.
Not all fans. Not all fans.
I'm generalizing here because I'm a fan too. I'm not trying to say I'm dumb.
Pundits are dumber. That's my opinion.
Most pundits are dumb.
They're dumber.
Are fans.
They're dumber than fans.
Pundits are fans.
Don't forget. It's a job of a pundit to cause controversy.
Yeah.
So a lot of times they're just acting the script.
Exactly. That's the Pantomime villain because that whole Pogba Souness thing is, I believe, is
Souness Pogba is just like come on.
The studio, man.
Ridiculous.
The studio. Now, what I'm saying that was Sarri unlocked this guy in a role that was better for him.
Kante.
He was going to play Jorginho, and guess what happened? The first,
I was like, Buchi wants to bring my guy into this again. He said, unlock Pogba. I'm like, what? Why am I talking about Pogba?
Kante, I meant to say. Next
you have an agenda. Agenda is Pogba. Stop using Pogba agenda.
Look, let's do that one. We can put that in another podcast. Next thing now, guess what's happening right now? Pogba. What's his name? You see, both of my mouth.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Lampard, what's Lampard doing now? Jorginho is playing defensive midfield. Kante is playing
box. The same exact thing. I brought this up. I brought this up with Chelsea guys. I brought this up with Chelsea guys. Lampard is doing the same exact thing that's how he was doing. The same exact thing. Just younger players now. And they can run more. That's it. Same exactly. Okay, this was fun.
Before we wrap up, I have to bring. This Ola is not here. I've not trolled him directly. You know, he's my guy. Ola, please, you should stop paying bribe. We know Liverpool have penetrated the FA so much that the chairman, everything is Henderson. Henderson is Mr. Nice Guy to the point that Henderson is now winning. Player of the season. Why is not the best player in Liverpool?
In his own Liverpool.
Why are you vexing now?
Stop.
It's BBC now. It's BBC that they voted, and they voted for your player too, Fernandes. I'm waiting to be named. They put him in the team of the year, and he played only 9 games.
Five.
That's ridiculous.
Five games.
That is ridiculous.
But if Fernandes can be in the team of the year, then Henderson can be player of the year. Why not?
Dude, is he even player of your team?
To be serious, Henderson has had a good. There's something. That's why when people say stats don't tell you everything, it's true. Stats don't tell you everything. There's some things. Like I saw somebody put in a picture of Henderson and Scott McTominay, and their stats are similar. McTominay has tackles, interceptions. The thing is, Henderson, he covers for, like, when Trent goes forward. Henderson is one covering all that side.
Yeah.
Stats won't tell you that. Stats won't show all those that kind of importance for you.
No, he's hardworking. There's no doubt.
The recovery,
proper hardworking. Anyway, you can't be in a club. You can't be in a club scene without being hardworking. You can't be a slouch in it.
Forget the hard work. Forget the hard work. There's this thing we do.
It's not just hard work.
The simple things that a lot of players struggle with. Henderson does it. You know, I know I'm missing him, but he's actually the best midfielder in the club because he does the recovery, the keeping the ball flowing thing. He does it like the only other person I see that does it as good as him might be a little bit better because he's a natural defensive midfielder more than Henderson is Fabinho. But that guy, when he's in the team, he makes the midfield tick. But that being said, the best player in Liverpool and the PFA, the player of the year is Mane. Unanimously.
We all know Mane.
They should not try and rob my African brother again.
No,
that's
it
a
was the
petition.
people that voted. Buchi, you know now, which you were saying are fans.
Yeah.
Fans get swayed very easily. So fans, sometimes, they just get swayed by public opinion, you know. So the fans have voted for that because Henderson was getting a lot of press, so they voted for him. But when it comes to the PFA, when the PFA players vote, they too might get swayed. Because players too also get swayed by public opinion. So they might vote for Henderson. So don't be surprised if the PFA players also vote for Henderson.
No, the PFA own might be weird. Where the PFA own is weird is that they've changed the rules, so they've not voted. Before they would have voted already, but they've not voted.
Okay. Yeah.
So they will wait till the end of the season. And remember one weird thing: all this form we know from beginning of season to now, people will have forgotten it. It's whoever is in form from now till, you know what I'm saying?
End of the season. Yeah, that's how it works. That's how it works. No, I agree with you. Henderson is not. He has had a great season, but for me, Mane is the player of the season.
Mane, yeah.
I think we can hang out after the recording if you want to have chat. But I think I'll cut it short here. Daniel, Choko, Ola, Buchi, thanks for coming on. Hey guys,
hanging out with you guys, mate.
We'll leave out a message to you guys. You know, stay safe. Yes, restrictions are getting loose everywhere, but this time, you know, wash your hands, reduce it, social distance as much as you can, and stay safe. Take care of your families. From the Footy Fantasy team. Thank you.